Well, the Israeli election is too close to call, with the two main blocs virtually neck and neck. One exit poll gives Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party the narrowest of leads over the rival centre-left alliance, the Zionist Union, while others give them exactly the same results. The poll that has Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party ahead shows it securing 28 of Knesset's seats, 120 seats. Isaac Herzog's Zionist Union is a close second with 27. Another poll, though, has both groups getting 27 seats each. Neither party has secured more than a quarter of the seats, which means they'll be hunting for allies with smaller parties of varying ideologies to try and form a coalition. Benjamin Netanyahu has already declared victory.
I spoke this evening to all the other party leaders. I called them to join me and set up a government in Israel without delay, because the reality is the people of Israel expect us to quickly form a government that will work for them, and this is what we'll do.
Mike Hanna is live for us from Likud headquarters in Tel Aviv. Hi again, Mike. So Netanyahu has already begun his moves to try and form a coalition government. He's clearly delighted that his party has done so much better than he expected going into this election.
Yes, he did, particularly in the last few weeks, where the polls were indicating that he was slipping sharply behind the Zionist Union. He did appear to get desperate at one stage, clearly calling on all the voters to come out and support him, very clearly showing his concern that he was slipping behind the Zionist Union. So certainly when he came here to the Likud party headquarters after those exit polls were made known, he did treat it as a victory speech, making very clear that he was already starting to form a coalition involved in talks with various political parties. And certainly on the face of it, once one does the arithmetic in terms of getting that majority of 61 seats, it would appear far easier for Netanyahu to form a coalition of the extreme right than it would for Isaac Herzog to form a coalition of the center. There are clear bed partners for Netanyahu among the settler groups, for example, the ultra-Orthodox religious parties, and certainly he'll be looking at them, his traditional bedrock of support, particularly that settler movement, to form the foundation of what he hopes will be a coalition government.
Okay, Mike, so now the horse trading goes into full swing. How long do they have to try and form this coalition government?
Well, let's just take a look at the process now. First of all, we've got to wait for the official result, which should be coming within the next few hours. Then the president, Reuven Rivlin, becomes the critical figure in all of this. He has a period of 7 days to decide on whom he's going to call to attempt to form a government. He will be consulting the leaders of various political parties. He looks to them for their advice, for their suggestions, but then it's up to him and him alone to decide who he's going to call on to attempt to form that coalition government. That person called on then has a period of 6 weeks in which they are able to hold coalition talks, at the end of which time they can come up with a government with that 61 majority in parliament. If they fail to do so, then you can ask somebody else. It's a process that could go on and on and on. However, very clearly, given the exit polls and wondering whether they are accurate, as they have been much of the time in the past, then it is very likely that Netanyahu may succeed in his wish to form a coalition very quickly indeed, seeing that his partners are all ready and waiting, it would appear. As to the subject of the exit polls, well, as I said, remarkably accurate much of the time, but one does remember 1996 when Israelis went to bed with Peres and they woke up with Netanyahu. So exit polls not always accurate, safer to wait for the official result in coming hours.